Hello, this is Grandma Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and today we are going to do something a little different than we've been doing for the last year or so. If you've been following our channel, you know I have deep dived into collages, but I think it's about time I returned to some other types of art like drawing. And so today we are going to draw Fluffy. Fluffy is an alley cat. And he's been named as a nice, gentle, cute cat. But you know, really, he's a fighter. He fights all the cats in the neighborhood and wins. But he has the scars to prove it. And so we are going to attempt to draw Fluffy. And what I'm going to do is show you step by step how to make this cute cat. And there is a set of instructions that you can download for free that will give you every step along the way. And there's several pages, so it breaks down those steps quite simply. And that's what we're going to follow today, so you can see how these instructions work and how you can end up with a cute cat. Now today we are going to learn to draw him. In the second part 2 video, we will learn how to color him in. And we are just going to use either markers or watercolors, whichever you have, and you could use a colored pencil too. And a graphite pencil. You'll need a graphite pencil for this of about 6B or 8B, and that's how we are doing our shadowing. But it does a fantastic job of making shadows. We'll get into that more in our next video. But today we are going to get him drawn and inked and ready to go for coloring in our next video. So let's begin. Now, you will notice I have a faint outline here of him. It's because, well, when I draw, it may be just me, I think others are like me, I have to twist my paper around all different directions to get certain lines in, which is very confusing to the camera. It doesn't make for good video. So I am trying a new way this time of having a very light sketch down first so that I don't have to turn my paper so many weird ways. We'll see how that works. And that if you can see it all right and it doesn't bother the viewer. So on page 1, you notice we started with the head. The first thing we do, and here I am turning my paper, is to draw an arc. Now, don't draw too hard. I am, because I want you to see these lines quite plainly. But you will end up erasing a lot of this. So draw lightly so that your pencil lines don't show in the end. All right? This is step 1. Easy. Anybody can do that one. Step 2. Oh, with this one though, make it close enough to the top that you have room for a whole body under here, and yet you have room for some ears up here. I'd say this is about 1.5 inches down, 2 inches. It depends on the size of your paper. I am using mixed media paper today. It's a 9x12 sheet. Jumbo artist pad from Be Inspired, and I just picked this up at Walmart, and it's good mixed media paper, and there's 120 sheets in here. Look how many cats you could draw with that. So back to this. Let me keep my instructions here so that I do these the same way your instructions sheet has it. Okay. You know how tomcats, they have a kind of a ruff on the side of their head, and I mean R-U-F-F, kind of some curly hair that comes out this way. And we're going to give him his Tommy Cat ruff. That's step 2. Now step 3 is to give him his chin and the sides of his face. And I'm going to kind of put a curl down here that shows where the middle of his face is. And then up we go to his ruff. That's right. And it doesn't have to be perfect. As you know, his fur isn't going to be laying perfectly straight like he's a perfectly groomed cat. He's not. So if your lines are a little wobbly and wonky, it won't matter. That's fine. It just gives him character. Now, we will also want to divide his face into halves. And make this line very lightly because it definitely will need to be erased. But we're going to put it there to help us draw the features in. So we just did his chin and put the line down the middle. Now we're going to start his eyes. And he is an angry cat. He's mad at the world. You know, some other cat took his mouse. And he wants to fight him for it. So he's got this furrowed look on the brow, you know. If you're mad how you kind of frown, he's frowning. Let's finish the circle for the eyes. Okay, and mad cats have big pupils. I have cats. I've had cats most of my life. I love cats. And when they get mad, the pupils of their eyes enlarge. They let you know they're mad. Their tails start switching and their eyes get big. So we have the basis of the eyes here. Now, the instructions have you coloring them in. But I would suggest you wait until you ink your cat because you're going to color it in with ink. There's no use coloring it in with pencil. But what I want you to do before you leave, and then the instructions don't show you this, put the gleam in the cat's eye. It can be any shape. It'd be a white gleam that you're not going to color in. And you'll see at the end when you color that in how that helps your cat look alive. If you notice, everything living has a gleam in their eye, a bright white spot where the light is reflecting. So you always want to put that in the drawings you do of live things. Let's see, next step is his cute nose. All right. And he has a little, if you notice cats, they have a little line in the middle of their nose. Now we need to put the mouth in. And that line from the middle of their nose comes down towards their mouth. Now this isn't the shape of an actual cat's mouth. We've done this for expression's sake. You can change these expressions. You can look at pictures of cats and make it more lifelike. Actually, in real life, a cat's mouth kind of goes up this way. And if you want to make a happy cat, that works just perfectly. Okay, now he's also an alleycat. He fights a lot. And he has fangs. Now, if you look at a cat closely, they do have fangs that come out of the sides of their mouth and overlap on their chin just a little bit. But usually the fur kind of covers them up and they don't come down as far as I've drawn it. But I wanted to exaggerate those fangs he's waiting to use on you. So we put his fangs in. Now this is one reason you want to draw lightly. You notice how I came over this line, and this line needs erased, and it will be hard to erase this dark pencil. So I'm going to have to live with a little bit of that line through my picture, but you don't have to. Okay, and I have on step 12 is putting little dots here for his whiskers to come out of. I suggest here, the dots, that you switch that with 13. Put the whiskers in next, and then draw the dots at the base of the whiskers. So his whiskers go here. And then you can put the dots in afterwards. If you notice your kitty cats, they have little dots. Actually, they go in lines. So we are getting his whiskers in. Like that. And we're done with page 1 of our instructions. So we'll go to page 2. Yes, and this is something else cats don't have, but it's kind of cute. I want to say I was inspired to draw my cat from another YouTuber who draws, she's a beautiful, cute drawer. Her name is Karen Campbell. And if you want to have a lot of drawing instruction videos that give you lots of advice, go hunt her up on YouTube. And I was inspired to do this cat from one of her drawings because it was so cute. She gave her kitty cat a top knot, and I thought that was cute. So my kitty cat has a top knot too. So now we need a little eyebrows. Now, this cat, remember, is mad, so this cat is frowning. So his eyebrows are pointed down, like he's really upset at things. And let's see, yes, eyelashes. They have whisker-like things coming from above their eyes. And so I gave my kitty cat those whisker, eyebrow whiskers, would you call them? Now, let's see, where are we? We need to give him a neck. So come down here. He's got a skinny neck. Now, when you want to give your cat different catanalities or personalities, you can vary these things. You can vary the size of the head, and I'll show you some variations in a minute of pictures that are done. You can vary the size of the head, the size of the body, the size of his paws, the size of his eyes, the size of his ears. And you know what? I forgot to put his ears in. Back on page 1, they have you adding ears in. So let's get those ears in. I also give him unusually large ears. Cats don't have these large of ears, but you know what? Fluffy does. And they've been around a while and been beaten in a lot of fights. There we go. He looks a little better with some ears, doesn't he? Now I think we're ready to give him his body. And his body is a very simple shape. I've seen some vases that had this shape. Bottles of, this sounds silly, but bottles of salad dressing have this shape. It comes down like this. Try to keep him halfway the same size on both sides. Now, we're getting into lines that should be erased eventually, but mine probably won't erase very well. He looks like a bottle of salad dressing, doesn't he? And obviously this is not the same on both sides. Don't worry, if yours is not the same, he doesn't need to be perfect. He's not a perfect cat. But we get his body in here. And then the next stage is his front legs. And we're going to draw like this. Just simple lines. And there we are. We're ready for page 3. We need to give him his front paws. Front paws. Okay. We do a kind of a bumpy top. You can draw a circle first if that's easier, and then redo the top and make it bumpy. Now I had 4. There we go. And what else? We had, that was our paws for now. We want to put the back legs in. Now the back legs, if you look at a cat, they really don't stick out this far. But cartoon cats, we exaggerate. We make characteristics that they have naturally, we exaggerate them. So we have great big back legs that come out like this. I don't think I've seen any cat where their legs come out so far, but it gives him a lot of character. And then we want to add some back paws. Just an oval will do. Look at the character your kitty cat has already. We need to move the page and go to 4. Oh, yes, and we're going to give him lines on his paws. I have thought about trying to give him claws, but I haven't done that yet. You can, if you want, give him some claws coming out there, maybe like that. But we don't have it on our kitty. All right, after the claws, he has a white tummy, or whatever color you decide on. He has a tummy that is a light color in comparison to the rest of his body. So we're going to give him a fluffy tummy here. Just freehand your fluff like that. Also, he's got white paws and partially white legs, or the lighter color that you've chosen. And let's see, I forgot to put something else in our instructions tell us about, and that's a tail. Let's get him a tail. There we go. Now he has a tail, and he has some stripes on his tail. There we go. And let's see. He's sitting on something, and since he is an alley cat, he's probably sitting on bricks, but he's sitting on a patch of grass. So let's put some grass back there behind his feet and underneath him. He has a little bit of a comfortable place to sit. And there we are. We have one more thing to do. Now, isn't our cat cute? He's an alley cat, so I don't know how he got a collar on, but he's got a collar. Can't say that, can I? With his name on it. Now, you can choose the name of him. I've chosen Fluffy for this cat. We're going to put a collar on him. I imagine some really kind person trapped him one day and thought, I'll take him in and feed him and give him a good home, and they put a collar on him. And Fluffy said, no way are you going to shut me up, and he escaped. But he still got the collar on, and that collar is really easy to draw. Come up here on his scrawny neck and do that. Do that, a curl on each end and that curve. And then on each side of that, come straight down. This is a thick leather collar. And come across there. Now, part of his neck will have to be erased because it hides in that collar. And then we put a name there, which I'm going to wait to do till I color the picture. Look at that. We have a complete drawing of a cat. Now there's a lot to be done to him before he's finished. We need to ink it. And if you have any black liners, I'm using a Sharpie permanent marker. It's an ultra fine point. And we need to go over every line we've made here that we want to keep. Don't go over the ones you want to erase. So, let's get our kitty cat inked. Start at any point you wish, but don't go over the lines that should be erased. You see this? Don't go inside the collar. And then come on. And my pencil was so dark you can hardly tell the difference between my inking and my pencil mark. And you'll find you don't follow your pencil marks exactly. None of us are really, I don't think, that good to follow exactly all the time. You can go very slowly and perhaps do a pretty good job of it. But if you're in a hurry, like I always tend to be kind of in a hurry, you'll find that you stray from those pencil lines. And you might find you want to change something a little bit that's different than the pencil, and that is fine. So I'm going to finish inking my kitty cat, and I'll be right back with you. Back real quick with you. When you start to ink his head, you might want to leave this part where his ear opens up uninked. That's up to you. It looks fine either way, and you'll find that most of the time I did this cat, I forgot to leave that open. Now, after you've got him lined, you can go ahead and fill the pupil of that eye in. Just don't go over your little gleam mark. And if you forget and cover that up, don't worry. We can fix it later when we color our kitty cat in. In fact, I think I'll need a lot more gleam in my kitty cat's eyes. I covered too much. And then I'll show you how to do that when we color our kitty in. And the other part you might want to color in is right here where the collar goes around his neck. That would be black and shadowed in. And the next thing you're going to do is erase all the pencil lines. Now, I have drawn so darkly, I probably won't be able to erase all mine, but I'm sure since you drew lightly that you will be able to. And it just should leave you with your ink lines. And it's just a matter of erasing like we always erased. Now, when you erase, you'll probably find you missed some lines, and just go in and fill them in. There we are. I have erased it. Now, my lines, my pencil lines, whoops, show up a lot because I drew so darkly. And I know you will not do that, or at least you will not do it on your next picture because you'll see how they are there. But don't give up on this picture because we're still going to add color to him, and that will hide most of our lines and our mistakes. It'll fix a lot of things. And even if you don't like your cat at this stage, finish him. Because you learn something every picture you make, you learn how to do it better. So the next picture, you won't make those mistakes again, and you will make a better cat. So, I am going to show you some variations of this real quickly before we leave. Here is one cat we did. I like his eyes and I like his face. I'm not too wild about his tail. You'll always find something you didn't like about a picture you did. But I like him. This is a boy cat. Now, we were in art class the other day, and someone wanted to make a girl kitty. So we did this on the fly in art class, and I was very crooked in her face, but that's okay. See, she still came out cute. With a girl kitty, we softened her head. We made it more round than a football shape. We curled her side fur a little bit. She has smaller ears. She's a little softer and fluffier in her body shape. We gave her a neck ruff instead of a tummy ruff, and we put a little necklace on her. But she still looks mischievous, doesn't she? If you do the wrong thing, if you say the wrong thing to her, she'll still get you. And I had one more. Here's one of the first one I did, a Fluffy. And see, he looks different yet. He's got a smaller head, but he's basically the same. You just change some of these things, the sizes and the shapes of them, and you come up with a different cat, just like we did here. Now, this cat really bothers me because the head was shaped. I was drawing this quickly in art class at an angle. I was working on another table and bent over it, and I didn't do a good job. But it shows you they can still be cute when you do a terrible job. So aren't these guys cute? And that's what we're aiming for when we do our next video. We'll color our kitties in. You will need either watercolors, markers, or colored pencils for the base color of the kitty. And then we're going to use markers to do like the eyes and the nose and little tiny parts of the cat. I did my grass and markers and my color and markers. And the cat, these two cats were done in watercolor, their base. These colors right here. And then you will need like a 6B pencil. It'll say it on the end of a pencil, and if you don't have one, Walmart sells drawing pencils. They sell them in a set. And if you can get bigger than a 6B, if you can get an 8B, and they go all the way up to 14B, that's better yet, because that's how we blend our shadows. We do it with a pencil, and then we use a blending stick, and you will need one of those. And if you don't have ones, I'll show you what you can use until you can get you one. But that's what we'll use in our next video, and I hope you have enjoyed drawing this character. He doesn't look too great now, but the basis for our cat is there, and he will end up looking like this in our next video. So I'll say bye till we meet in our next video, and we're coloring our cat in. So bye-bye for now.